There are 5 definable stages to most every buying cycle. Successfully guiding prospects through each phase will lead to positive outcomes for both of you. The first phase, connecting with customers. Understanding disc styles will have an impact on the impressions that you make in the first few minutes of a meeting. In that short, precious time, you make or break the sale. In that time, your prospect sizes you up and determines if you're the type of person he or she would like to do business with. The purpose of making contact with your prospect is to begin opening up the lines of communication. Great listeners make the best salespeople, period. Master the skill of effective listening and every other aspect of your relationships will improve. Step 2 is exploring customer needs. Now, the purpose of exploring is to get an accurate picture of the customer's needs and what it will take to provide an effective solution. To do so, you need to listen to what the customer says, as well as know how to ask the right questions to get the information that you need. Asking intelligent questions is a critical sales skill. It does not require asking many questions, just asking the right ones. Asking questions is similar to painting a picture. You start with a blank canvas and begin to fill in the background and rough in the picture with broad brushstrokes. Then you fill in the details using finer and finer strokes, or in this analogy, asking more detailed questions. The third step is when you present solutions. During this phase, you and your prospect collaborate together to find a solution that meets the prospect's needs. It's a process of taking your prospect's ideas and combining them with your own ideas to arrive at a solution that makes sense to both of you. The give and take exchange can be thought of as an opportunity to kind of switch heads with your prospect. Imagine saying this to your customer. If you and I could switch heads, that is, if you could know what I know about my product, and if I could know what you know about your business and your needs, we would both know exactly how to give you the best possible solution for your needs. That's your goal, to come as close as possible to the perfect knowledge that would allow you to develop the ideal solution with and for your prospect. To achieve that goal, you need to exchange enough information to fully understand your client's business, industry, trends and challenges, and they have to know as much as possible about your products and services and how they can help them. As you propose a solution, relate it to the prospect's needs that you discovered in the explore phase and explain how it will work in your prospect's environment. Fourth step is confirming the sale. Now, gaining commitment flows naturally out of the exploring and presenting stages for the disc salesperson. If you did a thorough job during the first 3 stages of selling, contacting, exploring, and collaborating, the prospect should close himself. The confirming stage is a critical point in building a customer partnership. Disc salespeople do not use fancy closing techniques. You can't work through all the stages of the sale and then at the very end try to use a manipulative closing technique to cinch the deal. It just doesn't make sense. And it most certainly doesn't work when you're trying to build a long-term customer relationship rather than simply closing one-shot sales. Step 5 is assuring customer satisfaction. A great weakness of most salespeople is the way they handle the assuring phase of the sales process. Most salespeople stop with getting the sales commitment. They disappear from the customer's life, leaving service, installation, training, and follow-up to others. One old school method of selling has an adage that the sale begins when the customer says no. In direct contrast, the real job of selling starts when the customer says yes. Assuring customer satisfaction is a secret ingredient of extraordinary sales success. You'll benefit 2 ways by assuring each customer. First, This assures repeat business. Almost all products have a life cycle and will be replaced or upgraded. Customers have a tendency to return to the salesperson who previously matched them with a product that met their needs and then provided excellent service and follow-up. Secondly, satisfied customers are excellent sources of referrals. Customers talk to each other. They talk about poor service and they talk about extraordinary service. When they get super service, they refer others to the salesperson who delivered on his or her promises. Without repeat business and referrals, a salesperson must constantly prospect and cold call new accounts. That is not the way that most salespeople want to spend their lives, and it certainly is not the best way to be successful. When you start the sales process, you have a chance to begin building a good customer relationship. However, it's only after the sale when you make sure that your customer is satisfied, preferably delighted, that you really, really cement the relationship. Now let's talk about sales adaptability with each of the DISC styles. And we'll start with phase 1, the initial contact stage. How do you connect with Ds? Well, Ds want to know the bottom line. Just give them enough information to satisfy their need to know about overall performance. They don't want you to waste their time giving them a bolt-by-bolt, bit-by-bit description of your product, presenting a long list of testimonials from satisfied clients, or getting too chummy with them. Always remember that they are direct and guarded. When you write, call, or meet a D style, do it in a formal, business-like manner. Get right to the point. Focus quickly on the task at hand. Refer to bottom line results, to increased efficiency, to save time, return on investments, profits, and so on. In other words, tell them what's in it for them. If you plan to sell something or present a proposal to a D, take care to be well organized, time conscious, efficient, and businesslike. Now, they don't want to make friends with you. They want to get something out of you if they think that you have something of value to offer to them. How about connecting with I's? Remember that I's are open and direct. When you meet an I, shake hands firmly, introduce yourself with confidence, and immediately show personal interest in them. Let the I set the pace and direction of the conversation. Be an especially attentive listener with I's. Give them positive feedback to let them know that you understand and can relate to their visions, their ideas, and their feelings. If possible, tell humorous or unusual stories about yourself to win their hearts. Allow them to feel comfortable by listening to their stories, even to the point of talking about topics that may stray from the subject at hand. Since I's typically enjoy talking about themselves, ask questions about them, but be prepared for lengthy answers. Plan to have as many meetings as necessary to build the relationship and to gather all the information that you need. How do you connect with the S style? Remember that S's are indirect and open. However, keep the relationship businesslike until they warm up to you. Now, they're concerned with maintaining stability. They want to know step-by-step procedures that are likely to meet their need for details and logical action plans. So organize your presentation. List specifics, show sequences, provide data. Treat them with honesty, sincerity, and personal attentiveness. Listen patiently to their stories, to their ideas, even to their answers, and express your appreciation for their steadiness, dependability, and cooperativeness. Present yourself to be non-threatening, pleasant, friendly, but still a professional. Develop trust, credibility, and friendship at a relatively slow, informal pace. Communicate with them in a consistent manner on a regular basis, especially at the outset. Finally, how do you connect with C's? Well, C's don't care much about social interaction, beyond common courtesy and standard pleasantries. So get right to the point. Avoid making small talk except to initially establish your credibility. Speak slowly, calmly, and economize on your words. C's are precision-oriented people who want to do their jobs in the best possible manner. So build your credibility by thinking with your head, not your emotions. Before meeting, provide them with a brief overview of the agenda and the length of the meeting so that they know what to expect. Show them logical proof from reliable sources that accurately document your quality, your record of accomplishment, and your value. C's tend to be naturally suspicious of those who talk themselves up, so play it low key. How does a salesperson practice adaptability in the exploring the customer needs stage? Well, when you're exploring needs with D's, to head off the D's impatience before it surfaces, keep your conversations interesting by alternating asking questions and offering relevant information. D's need to view the meeting as purposeful, so they want to understand where your questions are leading. When asking a D a question, make them as practical and logical as possible. Aim questions at the heart of the issue and ask them in a straightforward manner. Only request information that is unavailable elsewhere. When gathering information, ask questions that show that you've done your homework about their desired results and their current efforts. Be sure to ask questions that allow the D to talk about his or her business goals. Gear your exploring towards saving the D's time and energy. How about exploring needs with I's? Well, I's get bored quickly when they're not talking about themselves, so strike a balance between listening to their life's stories and gathering the information that you need to be an effective sales consultant. When asking business questions of the I style, keep them brief. If you can, work these exploratory questions in with social questions. The better your relationship with an I, the more willing he'll be able to cooperate and talk to you about whatever the task at hand is. I's can be so open, they may actually tell you their fondest hopes and aspirations. If you can demonstrate how your product or service can get them closer to their dreams, they may become so excited about your product and you that they're likely to sell you and your products and services to everyone else in their organization. How about exploring needs with the S style? Well, the steady style can be excellent interviewees, so talk warmly and informally and ask gentle, open questions that draw them out, especially around sensitive areas. Show tact and sincerity in exploring their needs. If they do not have a good feeling about your product, your company, or worse yet, even you, they're not likely to take the chance of hurting your feelings by telling you so. They want to avoid confrontations, even minor ones, so S's may tell you what they think you want to hear rather than what they really feel. They may not tell you about their dissatisfaction with your competitors. Even though this is exactly what you want to hear, the S may be hesitant about saying anything negative about them. Allow for plenty of time, possibly multiple meetings, for the S style to open up to you and reveal their innermost desires and pains. The more time you spend with an S in the exploring phase, the higher the odds you'll have in landing them as a customer. And finally, let's talk about exploring needs with the C style. C's often like to answer questions that reveal their expertise, so they can be very good interviewees. As long as you ask logical, fact-oriented, relevant questions, they will enjoy speaking with you. Phrase your questions to help them give you the right information that you need. Ask open and closed-ended questions that investigate their knowledge, systems, objectives, and even objections. Make your own answers short and crisp. If you don't know the answer to something, don't fake it. Tell them that you'll get the answer for them by a certain time, and then do it. Now let's talk about adaptability when presenting solutions to each of the 4 DISC styles. How do you present solutions to the D styles? Your presentation has to be geared toward the D's priorities. Gear your presentation toward how they can become more successful, how they can save time, generate results, and make life easier and more efficient. And that's when you'll get their attention. Zero in on the bottom line with quick benefit statements. They want you to do the analysis and lay it out for them to approve or reject. These like rapid, concise analyses of their needs and your solutions. These like being in control, so give them choices backed with enough data and enough analysis to allow them to make an intelligent decision. Then be quiet and let them make their decision. If you speak or interrupt while they're buying, you will dramatically decrease the odds of making the sale. How about presenting solutions to eyes? Show how your product would increase the eye's prestige, their image, their recognition. Talk about the favorable impact or consequences that your suggestions will have in making their working relationships more enjoyable. Give them incentives for completing tasks by stressing how their contribution will benefit others and evoke positive responses from others. Presentations need impact for people with short attention spans, so involve as many senses as possible. Show them how your solution will save them effort and make them look good in the eyes of others. And back up your claims with testimonials from well-known people or high-profile corporations. Name satisfied acquaintances that they know and admire. Sprinkle in visualizing future ownership questions, such as, if you were already running this software, how would you use it? Now, what about presenting solutions to S's? Show how your product or service will stabilize, simplify, or support the S's procedures and relationships. Clearly define their roles and goals in your suggestions and include specific expectations of them in the plan that you're presenting. Present new ideas in a non-threatening way. Provide them time to adjust to changes in operating procedures and relationships. And when change becomes necessary, tell them why and explain how long the changes will take and any interim alterations of their current conditions. Design your message to impart a sense of stability and security. S's like to be shown the appropriate steps to follow, so share those steps with them. Involve them by asking their opinions and encourage them to give you feedback. And finally, how do you practice adaptability when presenting solutions to C's? You emphasize accuracy, value, quality, and reliability. C's dislike talk, not backed up by evidence. Describe how a process will produce the results that they seek. Elicit specific feedback by asking questions like, so far, what are your reactions? Or even something like this. Do you have any questions that you'd like me to clear up for you? Present your solution that shows them that they'll be correct in making the purchase. Base your claims on facts, specifications, and data that relate specifically to their needs. C's are cost conscious. Increasing their perceived value with facts and ROI data helps make the sale. C's are the likely type to see the drawbacks, so point out the obvious negatives before they do. Let them assess the relative trade-offs when choosing between competing yet imperfect products or services. So as a salesperson, how do you practice adaptability with each disc style in confirming the sale? So how do we confirm the sale with D's? Well, with D's, you come right out and ask if they're interested. A D will often tell you yes or no. You can easily lose the attention and or interest of a D by presenting your information either too slowly or by spending too much time discussing minute details. When you draw up a commitment letter, don't spend too much time on the points that D may not care about. Present them with options and probable outcomes. Ds like to balance quality with cost consideration, so offering options with brief supporting analysis leaves them the final decision. We have found that it's effective to present a D with 2 or 3 options, provide a short summation of each option along with your recommendation of each. While the D is reviewing your proposal, do not interrupt them. The odds are high that they will find an option that appeals to them and close the deal themselves. How about confirming the sale with I's? Show how your product would increase their prestige, their image, their recognition. Be open and ask, where do we go from here? Or what's our next step? See, if they like something, they buy it on the spot. Of course, all other things being equal. You may have to slow them down because they also have a tendency to overbuy or buy before they're sold, buy before they weigh all the ramifications, behaviors that both of you may live to regret. I's dislike paperwork and details, so they are likely to hesitate and even procrastinate when it comes to spending the time required on filling out a detailed contract or some sort of application. Have a written agreement prepared due to their tendency to be unclear about procedures, responsibilities, and expectations. Make sure that you agree on the specifics in writing, or later on, you can almost bet on some degree of misunderstanding and or disappointment. Now, confirming the sale with S's. S's are slower, deductive decision makers who listen to the opinions of others and take the time to solicit those opinions before deciding. So make a specific action plan and provide personal guidance, direction, or assurance as required for pursuing the safest, most practical course for them to follow. Arm them with literature, case studies, any documentation available, because they'll be selling your proposal to others within their organization. When you do reach agreement with an S style, carefully explore any potential areas of misunderstanding or dissatisfaction. S's like guarantees that new actions that they take will involve a minimum of risk, so offer personal assurances and support. Try not to rush them, but do provide gentle, helpful nudges to help them decide, especially when needed. Involve them by personalizing the plan and showing how it will directly benefit them and others. When asking an S for a commitment, guide them toward a choice if they seem indecisive. How do you practice adaptability when it comes to confirming the sale with the C style? Well, you emphasize accuracy, value, quality, and reliability. Provide logical options with appropriate documentation and give them the time to analyze their options. C's are uncomfortable with snap decisions, and when they say they will think about it, they mean they want to think about it. If pressured by people or excessive demands, they may use this objection: I'll think about it, or even let me sleep on it, simply as a stalling tactic. C's are educated, logical, comparative shoppers. Know your competition so that you can point out your advantages relative to the competition in a factual, professional way. Mention your company's strengths as you suggest questions that they may want to ask the competitors that allows them to do a comparative cost-benefit analysis of their options and solutions. But do not badmouth the competition. Be willing to explore the subject of a conditional pilot program as a way of reducing their risk. And finally, as a salesperson, how do you practice adaptability with each of the DISC styles when it comes to assuring customer satisfaction? Well, how do you assure customer satisfaction with the D styles? Well, Ds usually do not look for personal relationships at work due to their focus on accomplishing tasks. With Ds, don't rely on past sales to ensure future purchases. Follow up to find out if they have any complaints or problems with your product. If they do have complaints, address them immediately. Impress upon your customer your intent to stand behind your product or service. Stress that you will follow up without taking much of their time. You may also want to offer a money-back guarantee. Whatever you make as a promise, make sure you deliver on everything that you offer, particularly to the D styles. How do you assure customer satisfaction with the I styles? Well, I's frequently buy before they're sold, which may lead to buyer's remorse. The I's can benefit from ongoing reminders that they've made the right decision. Reinforce their decision by giving plenty of assistance immediately after the sale. Be certain that they actually use your product, or they may get frustrated from incorrect usage and either put it away or return it for a refund. Since I's mingle with so many people, you can even ask the I styles if they'd be willing to share their glowing testimonials about you and your product with others. If they're feeling smart for using your product or service, most I's will give you more referrals than the other three styles combined. How about assuring customer satisfaction with the S styles? You need to follow up consistently with an S style. Give them your personal guarantee that you will remain in touch, that you will keep things running smoothly and be available on an as-needed basis. S's like to think that they have a special relationship with you, that you are more than just another business acquaintance. They prefer a continuing, predictable relationship. Give them your cell number along with an invitation to call you anytime with any concern. They'll rarely use your cell number, but they'll feel secure in knowing that it's available to them. See, they dislike one-time deals, so follow up to maintain your relationship, a long-term relationship. See, impersonal, computerized follow-up is not very appealing to the S styles, so continue building your relationship with low-key, personalized attention and assistance. And finally, how do you assure customer satisfaction with the C styles? Set a specific timetable for when and how you'll measure success with them. Continue proving your reliability, your quality, and your value. Make yourself available for follow-up on customer satisfaction and ask for specific feedback on the product or service performance. If you have tips for improved usage or even user shortcuts, email them to your C customers. You should also ask for their ideas and their opinions about how you can improve your products and services. When they offer their suggestions to you, get back to them about how your company is incorporating their ideas into future upgrades, revisions, or new products.